This is the STP45 Mark III and Mark I respectively. In a previous video, we checked out the Mark II with its numerous differences over the standard STP45. Check out that video for more details. Despite the name, these Mark series of pistols were released at the same time, and all three lowers are identical, but with three very different looking slides. Let's take a closer look, starting with the Mark I. I try not to say this too often, but this design really does look straight from a video game, looking kind of vaguely inspired by the RE45 from Apex Legends. Not that that's a bad thing, I'm all for sci-fi inspired designs, provided that they actually work well. And this one in the hands feels mostly like a standard high kappa, so you're not making concessions for a more unique looking piece. Like the other STP45 variants, slide travel is nice and smooth with, in my opinion, a very nice sound with its metal slide and barrel. I think G&G did a great job with the fit and finish on these guns. The cuts near the front kind of remind me of truss work on a bridge or building, and as we all know, the triangle is the strongest shape, though I'm not entirely sure that theory applies here. Still, it's very much the defining visual element to this design, and I don't think it's a bad look. They left enough room for some serrations underneath, which is really useful if you prefer to rack the slide from the front. Speaking of serrations, the ones at the back are a little on the shallow side, but still offer a good grip, though not quite as aggressive and grippy as the Mark II. The top of the slide has cuts that to me very much look like Picatinny rail slots, though they are not, as they lack the side cut to be able to mount anything. Somewhat of a strange design choice in my opinion, to look so much like a rail segment without actually being one. There's also porting near the chamber area, and when you pull back the slide, you can actually see all the way through. Potentially useful for chamber checking, I assume it's more of a stylistic choice and maybe slight weight savings. Up top, you get the same single red fiber optic iron sight that I'm quite a big fan of. Simple and effective. Just like the Mark II we looked at previously, this one features a metal dummy external extractor, which I think is a unique touch on a high kappa, and the rear of the slide is smooth to reflect that. Compare that to the Mark III, which has an internal extractor and has that little circle of the extractor housing at the back, like most 1911 pattern designs. Nice detail, G&G. The rest of the gun is the same as the Mark II we previously looked at, with a triangular mag release and slightly larger and a little bit more ergonomic grip. Trigger is also excellent for box stock with minimal take up, a little bit of creep, very little over travel, and a decently crispy reset. No complaints there. Looking at the Mark III now, this one is definitely more of a race gun inspired look, featuring a very open slide, sort of reminiscent of the Beretta M9, a style popularized on the airsoft scene with slides like the Airsoft Masterpiece Nano. The goal is a lighter slide, but of course it's also a very unique look. The slide features very angular cuts along with matching serrations, and I think they did a good job making a cohesive design, even if it's not to everyone's taste. Open designs always make me think dust and dirt will get everywhere internally, but a very open design also means debris is more likely to fly right back out. With so little metal touching the barrel, slide travel is indeed nice and smooth, and you can actually feel that it is a bit smoother than the Mark I and Mark II. However, because there's less touching the barrel, I did notice that there's a little bit more barrel play on this Mark III compared to the Mark I. Not a huge difference, but worth mentioning. Because of that open front area, there's not a lot of real estate to grab the slide. However, you can kind of catch the lip and rack it from the front if you really want, but careful not to get your fingers caught in the barrel. It's doable, but definitely something to consider if you're looking at this pistol and you like racking from the front. The rear serrations are the shallowest of the three Mark pistols, with kind of a dual step-down design. Grabs well enough, but also the least grippiest of the three pistols. Not a detriment, of course, but something worth considering. With a completely cut out chamber area, you get a very good view of the hop-up chamber and bucking. It's a pretty cool look that makes chamber checking really easy on this gun. That's about it for today. If you're looking at picking up one of these STP45 pistols, definitely try to make it into the showroom and put one in your hands to check it out for yourself. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.